guess what, America? Stacey Abrams has a problem with black voters. Yes, she does. I've been telling people this. I've been saying, listen, anecdote isn't evidence. But when I travel the state of Georgia, the reaction about Stacey Abrams outside of metro Atlanta black women is not good. It is not good. I will tell you as an aside, I know a lady. I don't want to go into details because she may be listening and it would cause me trouble. I'll just say, I know a lady. She's heavily involved in politics in the African-American community. And she did not realize I was your host until she realized it. And the change of the tone and tenor of her conversation was notable when she was being rather reasonable about Stacey Abrams. And then it dawned on her that I was me. And I mean, switch flip. No, not what you're thinking. She went from very reasonable, yeah, she has some problems, and she did this, to when she realized I was yours truly, the radio shows, highly defensive of Stacey Abrams. Highly defensive. Y'all, she's got a problem. And it's a problem that she alone does not have. But she is the greatest national example, which is why I feel no guilt whatsoever spending time on this story. Because the Democrats nationwide have the problem Stacey Abrams has, but she has it worse than everybody other than probably Kamala Harris. Black men don't like Stacey Abrams. But wait, there's more. Sorry. Oh my God, I've been warned this was going to happen. And we're like, no, you're nuts. No way. Nope. Stacey Abrams has a problem with black women. Oh, I know. Okay, let's be honest here. So let's step back from racial politics and let's us misogyny ourselves just with the gender politics. My wife says all the time, if given the option of working with a group of women or a group of men, she would far prefer to work with a group of men. Because women working together, it very often does not go well. They get snippy with each other. They clash. Unless I'm just reporting. But in conversations with other women beyond my wife, same thing. Don't mind a female boss. But when you get a group of women together, collaboratively, it's like group work in high school. It's not a good thing. Well, black women, but more specifically black men, she's got a bigger issue with black men, they're rather put off by the queen. Now, I say the queen because you need to understand behind the scenes, when you talk to Democrats in Georgia, particularly those in the state legislature, they refer to Stacey Abrams as queen. See, for those of you who don't know, in 2018, Abrams needed to run as something. She couldn't just run as a state house representative running for Georgia governor. I mean, you've got the Secretary of State of the state of Georgia, a statewide constitutional officer running for governor against someone who represents a House seat. So she was the Senate or the House minority leader in Georgia. So they referred to her as Leader Abrams. Mein Führer. It didn't work. And they finally given it up now. She's no longer the leader. They call her behind the scenes, and they mean it pejoratively. More than one Democrat in the state legislature in Georgia has, to me, referred to her as queen. It was like the Babylon Bee story the other day. Stacey Abrams regretfully announces she will step aside from the gubernatorial race to serve as Queen of England. She has a problem. Black men don't want to be bossed around by Stacey Abrams. But wait, there's more. Brian Kemp now has something Stacey Abrams does not have. A record. Stacey Abrams has rhetoric. Brian Kemp has a record. And the record is very favorable. Did you know Brian Kemp has appointed more non-white judges and district attorneys in the state of Georgia than any of his Republican predecessors and most of his Democratic predecessors? That's right. And you know, I had been thoroughly dismissive of this all along, saying it's not going to help him. It's not going to help him. It has helped him. He's not viewed as threatening in the black community. More importantly, the Democrats have embraced not individualism, self-help, but individuality, radical expressions of individuality. Stacey Abrams herself has embraced this, and this is where it becomes interesting at a national level. Democrats believe in the collective, that we're all in this together. We all belong to the state. We all do this, that, and the other. But people are individuals. And so the way the Democrats have tried to blend a collectivism and social policy with people's desire to be unique is to embrace radical individuality. Republicans tend to embrace radical individualism, where you take care of yourself and the government stays out of the way. Democrats have embraced radical individuality, where you stand out individually while being part of the collective. So you can pick your pronouns. You get to be born gay or straight, but you get to pick your gender. And your gender, well, it can change. They haven't quite gotten to picking your race yet, but it's only a matter of time. You get this radical individuality to express yourself in a way that makes you distinctively unique inside the collective. And the Democrats have embraced that. The Democrats have embraced this radical individuality, not individualism. The problem is that as they do that, and their voters do that, some of their voters decide to express their individuality by saying, I'm voting Republican. I identify as a he, him Republican black male. I'm not voting for Abrams. It's blowing up in their face, this individuality, radical expression. All these he, him black Republican males, they're causing problems for the Democrats. And the she, hers, the she, hers are starting to have problems too with Abrams. She's a little too bossy for them. She's a little too preachy. People call me preachy. Reverend Abrams and Reverend Warnock, they're not doing so well. Abrams came within 55,000 votes of Kemp in 2018. Now she can't even get black voters to vote for her. Now, in fairness, she's got 79% of the black vote. And you think, what? Erickson, what the hell are you doing? She's got 79% of that. That's a problem. Because Democrats tend to get 89% of the black vote in Georgia. So she's lost 10%. She's lost 10%. And if you just look at men, those misogynistic, bigoted, Democratic black men, Kemp's getting about a third of them. Kemp is getting a third of them. Black men have been put off by Abrams. They like Kemp. I got to tell you, here's why they like Kemp. It's the reason my wife likes Brian. My wife doesn't like any politician. My wife does not like politicians. They're literally the only politician in America my wife genuinely likes is Brian Kemp. No offense to all of my friends who are in politics, who my wife does like you. I don't want you to think she doesn't like you, but she genuinely, really has a soft spot for Brian Kemp more than anyone else. And it's because she says he's just a regular dude. Like, you meet him, you would never know he was the governor of the state of Georgia. He just wants to hang out, have a good conversation. He's kind of all shucks country. And my wife adores that, absolutely adores that. This is a man who, if he lost tomorrow, would still be a normal, regular guy. Being in politics doesn't seem to have changed him. It has changed Stacey Abrams. It has changed Stacey Abrams in such a negative way that even black men are turned off on her now. Black women are turned off on her. Yes, she's getting a majority. It's what you would expect. They're still Democrat, but she's losing so many of them that it's going to cost her the election. Brian Kemp is getting overall 10% of black voters. In 2018, he got 3%. Black men do not vote as high a rate as black women. I mean, it's orders of magnitude more. And Kemp's getting a third of the black men. This is a problem for Democrats nationally with the Hispanic community as well. And interestingly enough, it's Hispanic women. Hispanic women are moving to the right quicker than Hispanic men. Black men are moving to the right, and Hispanic women are moving to the right. And the reason has everything to do with the same issues drawing non-college educated white voters to the GOP: crime, the border, the economy, inflation, and schools. I'm running short on time here, but I have to make this point, and this is where I need your attention, particularly if you're a Republican in Georgia. Black men and Hispanic women want their next generation, their children, to exceed their own lives. And they know to do that, their children need the best education possible. And black men across surveys across this nation, Hispanic women across surveys across this nation, are identifying the Republican Party as the party that will help their kids get ahead in life because of school choice. And if you're a Republican in Georgia, you should dwell on that point, because none of you really oppose, or none of you really support school choice. You kill it every time it comes to the legislature. Brian Kemp, if you're listening, you want to solidify the Republicans in Georgia, you push school choice. Black men and Hispanic women want school choice, and they know Stacey Abrams and the Democrats around the country are not giving it to them, and therefore are depriving their children of a solid future. You want to change the entire dynamics in Georgia not to be a swing state? Your state where you're listening right now that's controlled by Republicans, that's a swing state, you want to change it and lock it in for the GOP the way Florida did? School choice. Black men understand where they are and where their children could go with a good education. Hispanic women understand that as well. And together, they've shifted to Brian Kemp in Georgia and to Ron DeSantis in Florida and to Republicans nationwide. And if you deliver for them, you're going to get their votes for the next generation. But you got to deliver on school choice.